Popping, y'all. This is Deidre with One Shot Game. Man, you already know how the motto go. You get one shot at life, but a lifetime to learn all the game you need to help improve your life. The choice is yours on which route you choose to go. Now, as I always say, you get two choices: the ability to faithfully settle in the life that has been set out for you, or the ability to pave a path towards your destiny. That choice is also up to you. So before I get into the title of my video, I want to say a big shout out to all my supporters. And even the ones in the back, I see y'all too. Because listen, anytime you leveling up in your life, you got people that genuinely support you. And then you have people that support you but don't like it because it's you. So at the end of the day, that's going to be my intro. You feel me? So again, the topic of this video is going to be on reputation. And the great lengths that people will go to be able to defend and have an objective behind the things that they've said and the things that they have done. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I promise you, people will make sure that they protect their reputation at all costs, no matter what. Like, they will go to great lengths to protect every part of their image that they have. You know what I'm saying? Even if it was built up on false pretenses, you are not allowed to let anyone paint you in a light that does not align with your reputation. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, it's so detrimental in this world that it's almost as if no one wants to get painted in a negative light. But listen, if you build your reputation up and you know that a lot of your reputation is built off of false pretenses, things that you know you really didn't invest in, or things that you know you really haven't done, how long do you think that's going to stand the test of time before it gets proven that you don't actually stand behind that? You know what I'm saying? And there are going to be people that know that you don't stand behind whatever you done built your reputation on. You know what I'm saying? Listen, there are going to be things that are exposed that people told stories and built their reputation off of, having significant evidence, proof, knowledge, wisdom. It's almost as if they don't want to get proven wrong. They don't want to have to be put in a position to be able to be discovered that everything they stood on exactly the opposite of everything they thought they knew. You know what I'm saying? And who they are for real will truly have to be exposed and be identified. You know what I'm saying? Listen, and even people that like are not in the public eye, I feel like it relates both ways, because people who live everyday life, they do everything they can to protect their reputation by any means necessary. Listen, I know y'all done seen them videos on YouTube where it's almost as if, and even in normal life, when you get in a fight, don't nobody want to admit that they lost the fight. You could be having a ripped shirt, blood. You don't want nobody to tell you lost the fight. You even go round after round after round to make sure it's painted in a way that you won and you didn't lose. You know what I'm saying? It takes a lot of courage to actually admit to someone, you know what I'm saying, you may have lost that fight. You feel me? Because everybody wants to build up their reputation in some certain way. But I feel as if like a clean slate reputation is almost impossible to uphold. That means you haven't been doing anything wrong. You're just perfect. Like, we got to get out of that standard. You know what I'm saying? You do not want to be painted in a dark light. You do not want to be looked at as an evil, dark person. So you pretend to act as if, you know what I'm saying, your reputation is scot-free. You don't got not one mark, no smudge on it. You know what I'm saying? And if there's ever any evidence or anything that's exposed that goes against anything you've ever spread lies about, you feel me, any campaign you've ever stood behind, you know what I'm saying, any person that you ever, you feel me, gravitated and moved off of their energy, like, you don't want nobody to paint you in a dark light, especially after you build up your reputation, to be portrayed to people in a certain way. And this goes for anybody in general. Like, for me personally, to get out of, you feel me, prison and build my life up to where I was cool, you know what I'm saying? It took a lot for me to have to finally admit I'm going all the way back down. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I had to be honest with myself and come to terms with the fact that this happens. You know what I'm saying? Because I know behind it, I'm going to be able to get it all back as long as I'm able to do the healing I need inside myself. I couldn't explain that to nobody, but I seen it. You know what I'm saying? So I took that route because it was nothing new. But you got to think of everybody in the background who threw, you feel me, dirt on my name, painted me this way, said this about me. And then once that divide starts to form, they could be going through the same thing. And you don't even know, because they do not want to discredit their reputation. If, say, for instance, some of the people that talked about you really bad or put you down is now facing the same situation you face, they will do everything not to speak to you or talk to you, because then they would have to admit, you know what I'm saying, that their reputation wasn't all tightened up like they wanted it to be. You know what I'm saying? Now they're having to face the backlash of who they really are for real, and the things that they go through that, you know what I'm saying, happens to people that they're not ready. You know what I'm saying? They're not ready because they look down, thinking that, you know what I'm saying, because somebody was going through something, that they couldn't go through the same thing either. They were so on their high horse thinking they had everything together, you know what I'm saying, that it was just easier to look at somebody who didn't have the everything going on like they did. You know what I'm saying? And so then when it hit them, oh man, bro, listen, I'm telling you, some people are really good at hiding it. They will paint an image to you that makes it seem as if everything is fine, but it's not. You know what I'm saying? They really going through some things. They really facing backlash. And then oftentimes a lot of people, they don't even want to paint that reputation to people. So they'll just stay away. And they'll get in their one-track mind and they'll focus on themselves, and they won't, you feel me, reach out, talk to nobody, associate with nobody until they can be able to maintain that image that they've always maintained. But listen, what I've come to terms with understanding is that I had to realize that it's no time limit on this. You know what I'm saying? I'm very wise and understandable that when the universe is in control, there is no time limit for growth and healing. So if you think it's just going to snap back really fast, you is imagining stuff. You know what I'm saying? You got to be willing to take your time. And I think that's where the most growth is formed, because when you're able to, you know what I'm saying, come to terms with things about yourself to people that you've always painted a certain image to these people, to where they thought you was king, queen, tut, you know what I'm saying? It paints you in a different light. I think it evens out the playing field, because you got to think, there's people who are on the bottom scale, and then there are people who are on the high scale. People who are on the high scale, they cocky. They think can't nothing happen to them. And then people on the bottom scale, they done been through the worst. You feel me? And they're just trying to be able to fit in up here so they could be looked at as the same. You feel me? But the mindsets are different. You feel me? But think of if a person never thought about their mindset and they just did everything they could to get up here, and so now they back down. They not understanding it's their mindset that needs to have all the work done. They're thinking as long as they keep that status, nobody will really know that their mindset is down here. You feel me? Listen, I'm telling you, reputation is everything, and people will do everything in their power to protect it, starting from all the way up to the food chain to down on the bottom. You know what I'm saying? You got to think, a lot of the people in the world who don't really have nothing, they not really focused on that. I truly believe they're focused on a ton of other things, but reputation is something that I feel as if I owned all of it when it came to me. Everything. Like, to be able to, you know what I'm saying, talk about my life on these videos. I have like over 3,000 videos documenting my life and the things I've been through. That is a part of my reputation. You know what I'm saying? But again, think of how a lot of people hide that part of their old self to be able to maintain a certain reputation with people, so they can be able to get what they want from people and then like disappear. You know, there's people in the world who they're emotionally unavailable. Like, they don't attach to nobody. They come in, they they pretend, they get what they want, and they dip. You know what I'm saying? While you over here then invested your whole heart in this person because you thought you didn't fell in love or something, and it ain't even like that. They ain't even on that type of time. You know what I'm saying? So you got to realize that protecting your image and protecting your reputation is important. Don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I truly believe, like, accountability is the number one determining factor in that. Like, moving in a way where you know it won't affect your reputation will keep it clean. But if you moving dirty in the background and you're hiding and covering up and putting band-aids over the dark things you have done so it doesn't get out, so your reputation continues to stay clean, you're moving backwards. You know what I'm saying? Listen, some way, somehow it's going to get out, because someone that actually has the reputation behind whatever they're doing are going to be able to feel free to finally expose a person that their reputation is everything. You know what I'm saying? Nothing in the dark comes to light solely because they've done everything they can to keep their reputation clean. You know what I'm saying? Listen, I'm telling you, it starts to the top all the way to the bottom. A lot of who y'all think is perfect and they look good and reputation, listen, a lot of them, then there's some dirty work behind the scenes that we are just not available to know. You know what I'm saying? It's so many things that people pay to not get out, pay to not be revealed. So much false information, you know what I'm saying, that's used to cover up the real true identities of a lot of these people. You know what I'm saying? I feel as if nobody's reputation is perfect. But I feel as if it'll come clean with a clean slate if you are authentically yourself and you're not portraying to be somebody else. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think people really truly realize how people will lie to keep their reputation covered up. And let me give y'all an example. I went to go get me something to eat like an hour ago, right? And I'm waiting in line. And the gentleman in front of me orders his food, right? And he asked the clerk, he like, is the Pepsi working? And they like, oh, the manager and the lady don't know what's going on. Mind you, you feel me? They look really short-staffed, you know what I'm saying? And they're trying to hold it together. You can tell by your environment and everything that was going on if you pay attention, right? So the manager, male, was like, oh, I don't know who told you that, but the Pepsi always been working. And the gentleman was like, well, yesterday I came to get a sandwich and I got Pepsi and Pepsi didn't come out, water did, right? So I'm assuming manager was like, oh, was I here yesterday? Like they're short staffed. It was only 2 people in there. That's it. You feel me? He's cleaning up. It's not really that clean in there. They doing their best to hold it together. But they didn't want to admit that maybe water may have came out of the Pepsi because they may have been too busy serving people that they weren't refilling the soda like they should. You feel me? Because they're short staffed and only have 2 people. I feel like because they're a restaurant and they're trying to keep their reputation together as if painted in a good light, no one wants to ever take accountability for the fact that they could be slacking off. And that, I feel like a lot of men do that. Because yesterday as well, I had another incident where I was at and I was like, it's okay. You feel me? I ask people how they doing. Everybody says they good. And I can tell that some days ain't good because it's the same for me. And I'm like, it's okay to admit when everything ain't good. Because he was like, life is it's great. It's not always great. You know what I'm saying? Stop hiding that aspect of yourself. Because what happens is you usually form a web around that has you portraying that even when you fall short. So you tend to start having a different mindset when you fall short. And listen, this tends to relate towards men a lot because I see it a lot in men. Women have a little bit more understanding. I've had women say to me, oh, it's not a good day today. You feel me? Or it was a better day today than it was yesterday. Okay, cool, that's it. I don't need details. You don't got to go into your story, your private life. But just that one step right there improves your well-being. You feel me? But I feel like with a man, everything has to be okay all the time. Everything has to be great all the time. You lying to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And what's happening is you're building up this animosity towards whatever it is that's not making you happy. You know what I'm saying? Depending on whatever it is you got to deal with. That is also a part of your reputation, because people have to understand your reputation is formed through actions, accountability, morals, goals. You feel me? If you're a type of person that only displays like your reputation is everything, you know what that's going to happen? What's going to come with that? Nice fly clothes, suits, nice shirts, you feel me? Smelling good, shoes, hair combed, everything look good on the outside. But in the inside, your reputation is going to get scarred over time because you're not moving with morals and principles and standards. You're actually having a dirty conscience because you know behind the scenes you can be doing something or something's getting to you and you're choosing to ignore it and not admit it. Reputation consists of your mind, body, and soul all put together. You feel me? Again, people have to understand what you display and put out to the public is a very important key component of your reputation. But you also have to align it with your soul, because if you're presenting, you feel me? Like, for instance, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. You feel me? I'm gonna be straight up real with y'all. Y'all always see me with a beanie on because my hair ain't combed. And it ain't been combed. You know what I'm saying? But I know that when the time comes, it's gonna be right. Because I'm regrowing and reshaping. So I'm becoming healthy. I'm shedding an old version of myself to become a new version of myself, right? I don't necessarily have on the best clothes or the best shoes. You feel me? Due to my situation. You know what I'm saying? But I'm clean though. And I make the best of what I got. You feel me? Because it's so much more to me than just my outside appearance. You feel me? So I've learned to protect that more than my outside appearance. Like, I can give you the illusion, you feel me, that I don't look the best. But when you get to talking to me, you know what I'm saying? And I get to exchanging words and conversation with you, you're going to be like, damn, I see why she doesn't really talk around people. Yeah, because the level of knowledge I have is not for everybody. And I want to give you the illusion, you feel me, that'll make you think differently. You know what I'm saying? Because people often have a certain image with people. You know what I'm saying? They look good. They look and fly. Everything is up to par. You know what I'm saying? They are also good in the spirit, but that could also be backwards too. You know what I'm saying? That could just be something they put on, but they mentally and spiritually, they ain't got nothing in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's why they present themselves so hard. You feel me? Listen. I tend to move different, and I'm doing it backwards. So therefore, when I do get into a good spot in my life, you feel me, the things that I have, that I work for, that I've earned, you can't put a price on those. So even if the economy flipped or something happened in the future, I'll still be able to maintain, because I have something inside of me that can't be bought. You feel me? But again, the world we live in, right? But again, you gotta think, I'm the type of person make the best out of what I got. I'm clean, I smell good, you feel me? But things could always be better. But again, time frame, I don't have no control over that. You feel me? But I'm also understanding and realizing that my reputation still stands over what you may see on the outside, because that is priceless, and a lot of people don't got it. You feel me? So again, be mindful and realize and understand in this life that reputation is everything. You know what I'm saying? And people that have done everything they can to build it up to be looked at in a certain way, they will oftentimes move in the dark to protect it if they feel like it's crumbling and falling down. If they feel like they're going to be exposed in a way that's different from the reputation that they have painted, I promise you, they will do whatever is necessary to make sure that doesn't happen. So realize and be mindful of the little things we tend to ignore. Oftentimes, those are the biggest things that we refuse to see. So listen, if you don't know what it is, I just told you. Please make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe.